Hi there, this is Sheena Rowlands and today I'm sharing with you my layout for Rebecca Moore's 1500 subscriber celebration YouTube hop. The idea was to scraplift her, so this is the layout that I picked and I printed it out on paper just so that I could refer back to it. So I chose my photo and then I went looking for paper and I ended up digging out a hip kit from I think 2019, it was in October one I believe, and it was full of Paige Evans Truly Grateful. So I took one of the pattern papers and I cut out all these fronds. Really love the colours. Originally I was going to use some white cardstock in the background, but I decided to use the pink to go with the fronds. But on their own they just didn't seem to sit well on the background, so I turned on my silhouette and I cut out just like a stick wreath to go underneath, just to help ground everything I wanted to add to it. So I'm going to go through all the supplies that were in the kit and I'm going to pop out all the chipboard or dig out all the pieces that I think will go with the colourways that I want to use with my autumn photograph. Lots of the pieces are actually exclusives to that hip kit, but they're a very good match with the Paige Evans. In that little tray there on the left, I started to gather all the bits that I like and all the pieces that I'd hand cut, including some of the acetate leaves that were in the hip kit. So I'm working my way through looking at all the bits in the kit. So these flowers on the sticker sheet I cut out roughly with the background attached, therefore I can commit to where I stick them later on. Also I'm going through the Paige Evans die cuts and picking out a few bits. In fact, I definitely choose my title from that set by the end. And I'm just going with the similar colourways. So just going back to the photograph, we went to a pumpkin patch near us. And this is my daughter and her boyfriend sitting on some hay bales. It was actually a truck with the back filled with pumpkins, but actually they had a skeleton driving it. And I didn't really want the skeleton in my photo, so I've cropped it down. So it's just the two of them with the pumpkins behind them. Anyway, so I've cleared off everything off the cardstock because sometimes it gets all a bit messy with me, and I'm now just trying to figure out which of these bits that I want to use. I'm quite a slow scrapper. I know people commit straight away normally and stick things down. I would say I was quicker than I used to be, but I'm never very quick to committing and actually adding adhesive, so just bear with me. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put the wreath in position. These are just foam pads that I'm adding to the back just to give it some height really, just so that it adds a bit more depth to this page. So I'm just cutting these up so that they stay hidden. So I want to come in behind that with just some ink. So I've got a finger dauber from a set, and this is Ranger's Distress Oxide in Seedless Preserves. Now I know it looks a bit messy, doesn't it? But actually it's just to give a darker shade behind the cut file. So I'm not too worried about it. I mean, every time I dab it on the ink, I'm dabbing it off on the paper on the left to get the most of the ink off it. I want to create more of like a shadow effect under the cut file. I think that's explains it a little bit better. So I'm starting to like the way that that's looking. And as soon as I'm happy, then I'm going to actually commit and stick this wreath into position. So this is the paper that I want to use behind the cardstock, so I'm just gutting it so that I can keep that piece, because there's nothing like wasting a bit of pattern paper. So that's the cardstock. So I'm having a look there at putting some fabric behind the photograph. In the original, Rebecca had actually got some hessian behind her photo, and that's where the idea for that came from. I'm not totally sure about it, and you'll see by the end how that goes. So I'm now looking at forming some clusters using the embellishments in a number of places, so either side of the photo and two other clusters around the wreath.